Okay, welcome back. This is part 2. So we've done the Christian beliefs one, and then hopefully 25 minutes or so into your exam you'll be on to the Christian practices questions. So let's just go straight through them. It's the same tactics as before. All the questions are going to be set out in the same way. Look, it's worth 1 mark, then you get a 2 marker that says give to, then you get a 4 marker that says explain to, and then you've got an essay question at the end. So let's just go, let's hammer it. Question 2.1. Which one of the following is not a way that Christians celebrate the festival of Easter? Even if you don't know which ones these are, or what they're doing here, everybody knows it's a nativity play because that's a Christmas thing. And so which one is not at Easter? Well, that one, because that's a Christmas thing, nativity play. You've probably all just been in one like recently, or seen your little kid's sister or brother in one. It's easy. Give 2 ways in which Christians respond to persecution. Right. Persecution is a tough word. It basically means that you're getting treated badly because you're a Christian, or you know, persecuted just means kind of treated awfully and picked on, essentially. So give 2 ways in which Christian churches respond to this. Well, one is through prayer. You might either pray for victims of persecution, or sometimes, I know it sounds a bit bizarre, you might pray for the people who are doing it. Another way that they might respond to persecution is support the victims, or they might help them to escape, because if you're being persecuted in another country, it might be a country where there's a war going on and Christians are being persecuted, so help them to escape and flee the area. Oops. Great. Going to get 2 points for that. Yeah. Okay. Question number 3. Explain 2 contrasting examples of Christian pilgrimage. So you've got to give 2, or explain 2 examples of a Christian pilgrimage. So pilgrimage, remember, is a sacred or holy journey to a special place of significance within a religion. So what do you think are going to be some places that are significant to Christians? Well, one might be to go to the Holy Land, because there you could visit the area of Jesus' birth. What else is there if you're going around that area? You could also see lots of religious sites. Being close to where the religion began would make them feel close to God. Another place where they go on Christian pilgrimages is Lourdes. Lourdes is another Christian so much like writing under while a camera's watching you is really difficult. It's like you feel under pressure. Don't know why, because I could just turn it off or pause it or something, but it just makes it feel different. Lourdes is another Christian pilgrimage site. Here, a vision of Mary was seen, and a spring appeared. Pilgrims have witnessed lots of healings here, so it gives people hope. Yeah, loads of people get say that they've sort of got better after going there, and they've investigated it and found that they don't know how lots of the things happened, lots of amazing things. Anyway, right, let's move on to the next bit. Explain 2 ways in which a worldwide Christian relief organisation carries out its mission overseas. So let's talk about Christian Aid, for example. Give 2 ways in which Christian Aid, which is a Christian relief organisation, carries out its mission overseas. So what stuff do Christian Aid do to help people in other countries who need it? And I've got to explain 2 ways and refer to sacred writings. Okay, so one way would be, trying to think now of a good example. What work do they do overseas? Oh yeah, development work. This could involve building toilet blocks, and hospitals, for communities, for a community, to help keep them healthy. They may also need emergency support in times of famine, for example. It says you've got to put a Bible teaching in there, so I'll just say that Jesus taught to love thy neighbour as thyself. This is extended to people in other countries. Right, that's one way, and a Bible teaching. So I just need 2 more marks worth of stuff to say another way in which they carry out their mission overseas. So another way is education. Christian Aid works to help poor countries, or people in poor countries I should say. Written it now though, it's too late. helped out people in poor countries to help themselves by learning farming techniques, how to start a business, for example. Or it could involve training doctors. Just about fitted that in. Wow. I hate writing on the back bit, so that's just about right. Okay, now time for the big essay again. Private worship has more meaning for a Christian than public worship. Evaluate this statement. Refer to Christian teaching. Give reasoned arguments to support the statement. Give reasoned arguments to support a different point of view and reach a justified conclusion. Right, so again, like always, my tip is that you should always just pretend that you agree with the statement and just write the first bit to agree with it. So why would private worship have more meaning than public worship? Don't know, but I'm going to make some stuff up about it. Private worship I don't know why that's better. Well, it has more meaning. Oh yeah, it's more intimate, I suppose. It's more intimate for the believer. They are doing it themselves. So are not just going along with it for others. It's all their choice. For example, in a private prayer, the person is relating and revealing, I suppose, their own life to God. And that means the help they ask for is more specific to them. Yeah. What else is it has more meaning? Oh yeah. God will know that they definitely mean what they say. God will know that they definitely mean what they say, as no one else is there, no one else is watching. Why else has private meaning got more? Well, private worship got more meaning to a Christian. Oh yeah, it is more likely to include the actual thoughts of the person. Right. So that's one paragraph that says, I'm just trying to think of one more reason why we could say that private worship has more meaning for a Christian than public worship. No, I can't think of anything off the top of my head now at the moment. Forget it. Just move on then. Others may say that public worship has more meaning because I haven't thought of a reason yet. I was just writing that because I know that's going to lead me on to saying a reason. Public worship has more meaning because it is said and done in front of the community. It will be the thoughts of the person and include thoughts and ideas of the whole group, the whole church. This will reflect what that group feel about God. For example, in a group, so I'm thinking about a church now, if everyone's in church singing, a hymn. For example, in a group that is singing a hymn to God, they can relax and trying to think. They can relax and let themselves go. God can be sure that the people are enjoying the worship and that the songs, say if they're like in a gospel choir or something, the songs are coming from their heart. What else? Why is public worship better? Oh yeah, or more meaningful. Public worship is more likely to be led by a religious authority, e.g. a vicar. This person will know what to say and which Bible quotes to refer to, this will guide the worshippers. Is that how you spell worshippers? I don't know. Doesn't matter. This will guide the worshippers in the right direction. Excellent. Right. So what's my overall conclusion? What do I actually think about private worship having more meaning? I don't know really. I'm not too fussed about it. Got to say something though to get the points. In conclusion, I don't really think this, I'm just writing something. In conclusion, I think that private is the best. Private worship is more meaningful. Why do I think that? I don't know, so I'll just write because while I'm thinking. Private worship is more meaningful because when alone, the person can feel closer to God. And that God is listening just to them. This will help them to feel special and that they can have a more personal relationship with God. Just feel like I should say something else just to make sure I get all the points. I've got some time left as well. Relationship with God. This is especially true if a person is praying to confess their sins. This would be hard to do in a big group, although some people do it. In public worship, but if done alone, I don't know, this would be hard to do in public worship. If done alone, it would be like the person is talking directly to God. Good. Right. So if I'm doing this one in the real exam, I've finished that question now. So I'll just spend a couple of minutes before I move on to the next Hinduism one. I'll probably just have a quick look and go, right, that's definitely a nativity play. I've given two reasons there why, or two ways in which Christians respond to persecution. I've given two examples of pilgrimage, talked about going to the Holy Land, like where Jesus was born and stuff. And then I've talked about Lourdes, that's good. Talked about two ways that they might help people in other countries, like by developing them and also educating them with a Bible teaching. And then my one about this is talking about private worship being really good, but then public worship being really good because it's in a big group and they're saying the right things. But in conclusion, I think private worship is better. I've come to my conclusion. So I've evaluated it and considered both sides and come to my conclusion. Right, even if that doesn't get all the points, I think that'll probably get most of the points, you know. But just have a look at your own answer now, what you did in the mock exam, compare it to the sort of stuff that I wrote. I reckon I didn't really write anything in there that you wouldn't know. It's just knowing how to go about tailoring your answers to the questions specifically, and making sure that you're actually answering the questions and stuff and writing relevant content. I haven't gone for, you know, answers that are too complicated or anything like that. I've tried to phrase it really simply, because it's hard to write while you're sort of on camera anyway. But generally, you should do well if you write answers like that. So carry on. I'll have a little break and then come back in a minute for the Hinduism one. I'm going to do Hindu beliefs in a minute, so that's going to be the next video. Okay, see you in a sec.